Do not think it is normal when speaking starts to feel less smooth, when finding the right words becomes harder, or when simple daily tasks suddenly feel more confusing than before. Many people believe this is just a normal part of aging, but the truth is, small changes in thinking, speaking, and decision-making are often not just caused by age alone. And here's something surprising. Modern brain health research shows that the early signs of dementia often do not begin with memory loss like many people think. In many cases, the first changes appear quietly in the way a person thinks, focuses, and responds to everyday situations. There are even 5 early warning signs that many people completely miss because they seem so small and harmless in daily life. In this video, we will talk about 5 early signs of dementia that are often overlooked, what may actually be happening inside the brain, and why these signs are important to recognize as early as possible. So make sure to watch until the end, because this information may help you notice small changes that are often ignored. And before we continue, try sharing this in the comments. Have you ever suddenly struggled to find the right word while speaking or felt more easily confused during normal daily activities? And don't forget to subscribe, because on this channel we talk about brain health and healthy aging in simple and easy to understand language.
In this discussion, we will talk about the early signs of dementia that many people do not notice in everyday life. This condition often develops very slowly, making it difficult to recognize in the beginning. Many people believe dementia always starts with memory problems, such as forgetting names, forgetting where things were placed, or struggling to remember recent events. While this belief is very common, modern brain health research shows that it is not always completely true. Research shows that the early changes of dementia are often not directly related to memory. In many cases, memory may still appear fairly normal during the early stages. Instead, the changes often appear in thinking, decision-making, and the way a person responds to daily situations. Emotional and behavioral changes may also slowly appear without being noticed, such as becoming more confused, slower to respond, or losing interest in activities that were once enjoyable. These changes are connected to areas of the brain responsible for planning, judgment, and behavior control. Because the process happens gradually, many people mistake these signs for normal aging. Some believe it is only stress, tiredness, or simply getting older, so the signs are often ignored at first. Difficulty finding words while speaking is one early sign that often appears. This happens when speaking no longer feels as smooth as before in some situations. Familiar words suddenly become difficult to remember, almost as if the word is right there in the mind but cannot come out easily. As a result, conversations may pause for a moment because a simple word is forgotten. Sometimes a person may also use the wrong word or describe something in a long way because the correct word does not come to mind right away. This can make communication feel slower or more frustrating than usual. Many people do not immediately see this as a health concern. It is often blamed on stress, lack of sleep, tiredness, or simply having too much on the mind. However, the situation becomes different when it starts happening more often and begins to interfere with normal daily conversations. If these changes continue and become more noticeable over time, it may be an early sign of changes in the parts of the brain involved in language, word processing, and smooth speech.
Difficulty thinking and doing several things at once. Another early sign is a reduced ability to handle several tasks at the same time. A healthy brain can usually manage multiple activities fairly well, such as cooking while talking, preparing ingredients while watching the time, or following several steps in the correct order without feeling confused. But when early changes begin to affect brain function, this ability may slowly decline without being obvious at first. Activities that once felt simple may suddenly feel more confusing. A person may lose focus more easily when small distractions appear. For example, while doing one task, receiving another instruction may suddenly feel overwhelming because the brain struggles to process both pieces of information together. As a result, a person may hesitate, feel uncertain, or stop the activity altogether because they are no longer sure what step should come next. Even simple tasks may begin to feel mentally exhausting. Things that once took only a few minutes may suddenly require much more effort and concentration. This happens because the brain areas responsible for attention, planning, and organizing information are not working as efficiently as before. Over time, daily activities that once felt easy may begin to feel more mentally tiring and difficult to manage.
Another sign that is often overlooked is a change in decision-making abilities during everyday life. At first, these changes may be very subtle and easy to ignore because they usually happen slowly over a long period of time. Many people do not notice the difference right away because the person may still appear normal in most situations. However, small changes in thinking and judgment can slowly begin to affect daily routines and simple choices. A person may start making small mistakes in situations that once felt very easy and automatic. This could include difficulty calculating change while shopping, taking longer to understand numbers, or becoming confused when paying bills or organizing finances. Even simple decisions that were once quick and easy may suddenly require much more thought and effort than before. There may also be more hesitation in daily activities. Tasks such as choosing what to buy at the store, deciding what to cook, organizing schedules, or determining which task should come first may begin to feel more overwhelming. In some situations, a person may repeatedly change their mind because they no longer feel confident about their choices. Some people may also become more easily influenced by others because judgment and risk evaluation are not as strong as before. This can increase the chance of misunderstandings, poor financial choices, or trusting information too quickly without carefully thinking about the consequences. These situations are not always caused by carelessness or lack of intelligence. In many cases, the brain is simply processing information more slowly and less efficiently than before. Many people assume these changes are just a normal part of getting older. However, brain health research shows that ongoing changes in judgment, planning, and decision-making may sometimes be connected to early changes in brain function that deserve closer attention. Becoming confused with directions or getting lost. Another early sign involves difficulty recognizing directions and familiar places. This usually develops slowly rather than suddenly, which is why many people do not notice it at first. In the beginning, the changes may seem very small and harmless. A person may simply feel unsure for a few seconds while driving somewhere familiar, or need a little more time than usual to remember which street to turn onto. A person may begin feeling confused in places they have visited many times before, for example, while going to a familiar grocery store, walking around the neighborhood, or driving on a route they have known for years. Places that once felt easy and automatic may suddenly require more concentration and effort to navigate. At times, there may be uncertainty about which direction to take, as if a once familiar place briefly feels unfamiliar. Someone may stop for a moment and look around, trying to remember where they are going, even in an area they have visited hundreds of times before. This confusion may include forgetting a turn that is usually remembered easily, missing an exit while driving, or accidentally walking in the wrong direction without realizing it immediately. In some cases, a person may feel nervous or anxious because they suddenly do not feel as confident moving around familiar places. Simple activities such as driving home, visiting a nearby store, or going to a friend's house may begin to feel more stressful than before. A person may start depending more on written directions or phone navigation for places they once knew very well. As the condition becomes more noticeable, a person may even feel lost in places that once felt completely safe and familiar. This can be frustrating and emotionally upsetting because it affects confidence and independence during daily activities. These changes are related to the brain's ability to process space, distance, and orientation. Certain parts of the brain help people recognize locations, remember travel routes, and understand direction. When these areas begin to function less efficiently, navigation and spatial awareness may slowly become more difficult. At first, the signs may appear mild, such as taking longer to remember directions, feeling slightly unsure about where to go, or needing extra time to recognize familiar surroundings. But because these moments seem small, they are often ignored or blamed on stress, tiredness, or distraction. However, when this begins happening more frequently over time, it may be an important sign that the brain is having increasing difficulty organizing spatial information and understanding the environment clearly.
Changes in emotions and personality. The final early sign is changes in emotions and personality. These changes often happen very slowly over time, which is why many people do not notice them at first. In the beginning, the differences may seem very small and easy to ignore. A person may simply seem more sensitive, quieter, or less interested in normal daily activities than before. Because the changes are gradual, family members and close friends may believe it is only stress, tiredness, or a normal part of getting older. A person who was once calm and emotionally steady may suddenly become more irritable over small situations that never used to cause problems. Simple conversations may lead to frustration much faster than before. Small changes in routine may suddenly feel upsetting or overwhelming. Even minor inconveniences can sometimes trigger emotional reactions that seem unusual compared to the person's normal behavior. In some cases, a person may also become more withdrawn socially. Activities that once felt enjoyable may slowly lose their appeal. Spending time with family, talking with friends, attending church gatherings, or joining community events may begin to feel tiring or uncomfortable. Instead of participating in social activities, a person may choose to stay alone more often or avoid conversations completely. There may also be a noticeable loss of interest in hobbies and routines that once brought happiness and purpose. Someone who once loved gardening, cooking, reading, or watching favorite programs may slowly stop enjoying those activities. Daily routines that once felt meaningful may begin to feel unimportant or emotionally flat. Anxiety and unexplained worry may also appear more often. A person may feel restless, nervous, or uneasy, even when there is no clear reason to feel concerned. In some situations, there may also be increased fearfulness or uncertainty during normal daily activities. These emotional changes can sometimes affect sleep, energy levels, and overall comfort throughout the day. Because these changes develop slowly, they are often mistaken for loneliness, emotional stress, fatigue, or personality changes related to aging. However, when emotional and behavioral changes continue for a long period of time and become more noticeable than before, they may be an important early warning sign of changes in brain health that should not be ignored.
The 5 signs discussed in this video show that dementia does not always begin with memory loss alone. Many people believe the first symptom is forgetting names, forgetting important events, or forgetting where things were placed. But brain health research shows the condition is much more complex than many people realize. In the early stages, changes often appear quietly and gradually. Because the symptoms develop slowly over time, they are easy to ignore or mistake for normal aging. Many people assume these changes are simply caused by stress, tiredness, poor sleep, or getting older. However, subtle changes in thinking and behavior may sometimes be early warning signs that the brain is not functioning as efficiently as before. One of the earliest signs may involve communication. A person may still speak clearly and carry on normal conversations, but finding the right words may suddenly become more difficult. Sentences may take longer to finish because the brain needs more time to process language and organize thoughts. Sometimes familiar words feel stuck in the mind, even though the person knows exactly what they want to say. Another early sign can involve difficulty handling multiple tasks at once. Daily activities that once felt simple and automatic may suddenly require more concentration. Following several steps in order, paying attention to details, or switching between tasks may become mentally tiring and confusing. Changes in judgment and decision-making can also appear slowly. A person may begin making small financial mistakes, become more hesitant with simple choices, or struggle to organize daily responsibilities. These changes are often subtle at first, but may gradually become more noticeable over time. Problems with direction and navigation are also important warning signs. Familiar places may suddenly feel confusing. A person may forget a usual route, miss a turn they normally remember easily, or feel uncertain in places they have visited many times before. Emotional and personality changes may also appear during the early stages. Increased irritability, anxiety, social withdrawal, or losing interest in favorite activities may sometimes reflect changes in brain function rather than simple mood changes. Understanding that dementia is not only about memory can help people pay closer attention to small changes in everyday life. Early awareness may encourage healthier habits, medical guidance if needed, and better support for long-term brain health and independence.
These 5 signs do not automatically mean a person has dementia. Many different factors can affect thinking, communication, memory, focus, and decision-making during daily life. Stress, poor sleep, emotional pressure, medication side effects, dehydration, anxiety, depression, and other health conditions can sometimes create symptoms that look very similar. This is why it is important not to panic or immediately assume the worst when small changes begin to appear. At the same time, these changes should not be ignored if they continue happening more often over time. Even though these signs may not always mean dementia, they can still be important signals that the brain is not functioning as efficiently as before. The brain controls nearly every part of daily life, including speaking, planning, understanding information, controlling emotions, solving problems, making decisions, and interacting with other people. When small changes begin affecting these abilities, the signs often appear quietly and gradually. Because the changes happen little by little, many people do not notice them right away. Recognizing these changes early is one of the best ways to support long-term brain health. Early awareness can encourage healthier habits that may help the brain stay active and supported over time. Simple daily habits such as getting enough sleep, staying physically active, eating balanced meals, drinking enough water, staying socially connected, and keeping the mind active through reading, conversation, puzzles, hobbies, or learning new things may all help support healthy brain function. Paying attention early can also encourage people to seek medical guidance when necessary. Healthcare professionals may help determine whether these changes are related to normal aging or whether further evaluation may be helpful. In many situations, early attention allows individuals and families more time to adapt, plan ahead, reduce stress, and maintain a better quality of life in the years ahead. Paying attention to small changes is not about fear. It is about becoming more aware of how the body and brain are functioning. Brain health is not only about remembering names or past events, it also involves thinking clearly, communicating smoothly, making safe decisions, staying emotionally balanced, and remaining connected to everyday life. When these abilities begin to change, even in small ways, they deserve attention and care. The earlier these signs are recognized, the greater the opportunity to support brain health, maintain independence, and continue enjoying daily life with confidence and comfort in the years ahead.